as an intellectual property attorney, as an attorney with the federal government, I would never, ever, ever agree, ever, to allowing anyone else to copyright my material. And I would never, ever, ever agree to letting someone have control over my manuscript. Now, your third path to publication is an independent publishing house. That's what I own. That's what Kate Butler owns. That's what kind of a lot of the people that I know own. And they vary quite a bit in structure. Most independent publishing houses, you are going to have quite a bit of negotiating power, and that's amazing. You will be paying for your publishing. Most independent publishing houses that I know are in the $20,000 to $35,000 range to get a book professionally and professionally published with quality. So you're looking at roughly, 20 to 35,000. Now, most independent publishing houses are not going to do your extensive marketing. They're not going to do your extensive press tour. They may help you plan it. They may help you strategize with it. They may help you come up with that plan and teach you how to do the outreach to the media outlets, or to the bookstores to do the book signing. But for 20 to 35,000, they're not doing it for you. Again, like we talked about earlier, because it is so costly. And you'd need to pay for that. So if they are telling you that they're going to do a big promotional push, then it's probably going to be like a free online summit or a free challenge, something that's free and online that doesn't actually really promote your book. So just be aware of that. They may give you some graphics. I know with my publishing house, the first thing we do is start with the business plan and the promotional plan and the leverage plan and get really clear on that. We have the entire strategy mapped out for our clients so that when the book is published and we're able to make it a bestseller, then after that first launch week, they know exactly what to do. They've got copy, they've got graphics, they've got a plan, they've got their outreach contacts, and it's very easy for them to just deploy, easy and cost effective. So if you don't have a $200,000 budget or $250,000 budget, then when you're going with an independent publishing house, just make sure that they're walking through that planning stage with you and giving you that crystal clear strategy so that you're able to implement it quickly and easily. Now, also with independent publishing houses, some are going to insist that your book is in their back office. As an intellectual property attorney, as an attorney with the federal government, I would never, ever, ever agree, ever, to allowing anyone else to copyright my material. And I would never, ever, ever agree to letting someone have control over my manuscript. Ever. I would always insist, and I did always insist, and I have always insisted, and that's actually how my publishing houses started, because my first two publishers that I was working with wanted to copyright my material. They wanted my book to live in their back office, and I refused. I was like, absolutely not. Now, why is that important that you retain control over your intellectual property and you retain control over your manuscript? This is one of the biggest mistakes people make. If that publishing house, that independent publishing house, that hybrid publishing house, the traditional publishing house goes out of business and your manuscript lives in their back office, your final files live with them. If they go out of business, they take your stuff with them. You no longer have access to that, which means you don't have your files that you bought and paid for. You don't have a way to keep your book out there. And so I would absolutely never, ever, ever let my intellectual property live in a back end that someone else has control over. It's also important because if your manuscript is in someone else's back end, then they're the ones that can pull the reports, not you. They're the ones that get all the royalties, not you. And if they tell you, oh, but don't worry, we'll deposit your royalties into your account for you. We'll essentially collect them in our account and then transfer them. Well, there's no transparency in that, and you can't double check that because you can't pull the reports, right? So then you're just having to rely on whatever they're telling you as whether that's true or not, whether they're actually giving you all your money. Also, then if you want to do any promotional pricing or you want to do any kind of boost to get your book in front of more people, you don't have an ability to do that without going back to the publisher and saying, hey, would you mind? Could we do this promotional thing? Could we change the price? And then you're at the whim and the mercy of them and their schedule. So you don't ever want to be in that position. Also, if your manuscript is in their back end, then you can't just order authors' copies. You can't order copies if you're doing a keynote and have it sent to a conference or anything like that without having to go through them. And if they're an independent publishing house that is, for whatever reason, trying to tell you that they have to bulk print your books and then house them somewhere, first of all, they're lying because there's many ways around that. And second of all, you never want that because then your print cost is higher and you're also paying to store them. And then your shipping cost is higher, your packing cost is higher. So that you don't want that. You want your manuscript in your back office so that you can go in and order what you need, when you need it, how you need it to be sent wherever you want it. So those are some things to be aware of when you're interviewing independent publishing houses, right? Who owns the intellectual property? Where is the manuscript being housed? How's reporting handled? Right? How are promotions handled? What about authors' copies? What about any kind of warehousing or bulk distribution? Those are some questions to ask. So, independent publishing is amazing if you don't have the budget or the audience for hybrid or you can't get traditional. Independent publishing houses cannot get you Wall Street Journal or New York Times or USA Today. And if you find an independent publisher who tells you they can, it's a scam and you should run. It's not possible. We are not members of the big distribution co-op, which is about $200,000 a year to be a member of, right? So you have to be part of that distribution co-op in order to get the distribution that you need and have all the behind the scenes things that you need in order to hit Wall Street Journal or USA Today. So if you're interviewing an independent publisher and they're like, yeah, we can get you USA Today or Wall Street Journal, they don't know what they're talking about and you should run. Where a independent publisher can absolutely get you is Amazon bestseller. Another good question to ask an independent publisher is, what platforms are you uploading my files to? Super important to ask that question. If they are only uploading directly to Amazon, you should run for many reasons. One, because they're not very good if they think that's a good strategy. Two, Amazon has a history, especially in the last 6 to 9 months, if not year, of doing AI sweeps to check for what the AI bot thinks of as plagiarism or fraud. And when that happens, the bot shuts down the Amazon account and labels it fraudulent. And the only way to appeal that is script is only live. I was talking about earlier, if that hybrid house or the publishing house goes out of business and they take your manuscript with them. If your manuscript is only on Amazon and Amazon locks your account, then what? Bye-bye book, right? So you want to find out from them, where are they uploading your manuscript? Could be on Amazon, could be on Ingram Spark, could be on Lulu, could be on BookBaby, could be on any number of platforms, but you want to find out from them and be very aware of all the places they're putting your book. You also want to ask them which of those platforms have exclusivity provisions. If they can't answer that, they don't know what they're doing and you should run. So it is really, really important because there are Balboa Press, which is the independent publishing house for Hay House, has an exclusivity. If you go with them, are the exclusive distributors of your book, which means you can't distribute it in other ways and other places. So yes, they're more prestigious on the independent, but they're exclusive distributors. Forbes, another exclusive distributor, right? If you go with their independent publishing house. So it's really, really important to be able to ask which of all your distribution channels, which have exclusivity. You need to know that so that you don't upload your materials to a place that has exclusivity, right? You really want to avoid that in order to maintain the most control of your materials and to be able to give it away, sell it at the back of a room, put it on your website. You want all the options. So avoid exclusivity. So again, ask any publisher that you are interviewing, ask them which of their platforms has exclusivity. Ask them what is their process for picking categories, right? What is their process for keywords? Those are both really, really important, right? Now, a hybrid publishing house, you don't really have control over that. They're going to pick it. They'll pick it and then they'll give it to you for approval. But an independent publishing house, you want to be able to ask these questions so that you can participate in the process with them. You don't want to just let them randomly, willy-nilly pick. You can let them get ideas, but then you want to have discussions with them, and you want to be able to veto, or you want to be able to guide in other directions. So you want to be able to participate a lot in that process, because it is your intellectual property. It is something that you're going to continue on beyond just the book launch, right? Like, you want your book to be out there. You want the accolades to be out there. You want to be able to drive traffic. You want to be able to leverage it. So asking those questions is really important.